Forest for the trees, right? Well done on getting forest. Hey, doing Coco type. I guess you survived the blades. All right, we are going to be doing the second session here on the farmer was replaced. Let's take a look at where we're at. All right, we're going to go over here. Let's look at our trees. Our tree of unlocks, the magical tree of unlocks, right? Immediately before I had to leave the house because guess what happened again? Oh, Lord. Again, what is it this time? It's been a while, right? Okay, so let's start by increasing some yields here, right? Let's improve these things before we go any further. So that's that one. We can increase. We won't increase the size just yet. Let's go back and look at these, right? Can we do something about the watering? Yes, we can. Although we've got quite a lot of water. Oh man, how did you do that? Actually, I've done that 1,000 times, right? So let's increase the yield of carrots a bit more. We are going to increase here in a second the yield of trees. But let's see, first of all, I actually turned the sound down, but I may have to turn it up again. Let's get this running. We will see how well the sound level is. I gotta find my cursor here. Hang on. Yeah, that should be okay. Actually, it's probably coming through on the microphone right now. I'm gonna make your good local. Wait. Anyway, I'm gonna make your good local friend W and procure some oil. Be back later. Good for you, I guess. Get the right type of oil. All right. All right. See you later, buddy. Let me check here. What's this one? Nope. Hang on. Stream stick. Let's check this setting. Hang on in OBS before we go any further. And hopefully we'll have a kiss of death right here. Hopefully we're going to have better luck with the stream bandwidth than we did yesterday. Do that there. Okay. Starting a war in the Middle East for vegetable oil would have been a lot more easy. Yeah, it would have. I don't know. Doesn't seem like that's. I feel like that wouldn't have needed a war, right? But I don't know. What do I know? What the hell do I know? Right? Bear with me a second here. Just gonna check something as we go. All right. What are these things? What are these things? Okay. How does that work? Bear with me. I promise. What does that do? Oh, that does that. Okay. Okay. Hang on. Now regretting starting what I did. All right, let's get back to this. So, where's my cursor? There it is. Carrots, trees, yeah, okay. We do want to expand the trees. Pumpkins, not so much right now, but definitely want more tree return, right? Here's our cactus doing 20k. Yeah, we can boost that for sure, right? We're going to start to expand upon our scripts here today as well. That's going to be a thing. Promise. Promise it's a thing. Maybe. Oh, hold on. What? What's this? Just looking at my iPad for something here. Bear with. What am I looking for? Where is it? Can't find what I'm looking for. Hold on. Okay, there we go. All right. Did we hit the magic number? Okay, what we're going to do, run my other script here that's just going to generate just grass. That's really what I need right now. Pro tip, by the way, you don't have to do this, but if you really want to make progress quickly, just open the game, just leave your script and let the game run overnight. As long as the game is open and you're running a script, you're good. So there's always the option you could just leave the game running in the background or something. Just something to think about. If anybody asks, I didn't tell you that. Okay. $297. We need to get to 307. Gonna get there pretty quickly. Won't be too bad. There we go. All right. Let's switch back to our main script. Generate all the things. We'll up the cactus right there. Okay, so let's take a look at dinosaurs. Let's talk about this, right? This is a new one for us today. So dinosaurs. Dinosaurs generate bones. Well, yeah, shocking, right? Basically, you're digging up bones is what's happening here. And to do this, you have a new hat. Change hat. Hat's dinosaur hat. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite look like on the advertisement. Yeah. If you equip the dinosaur hat and have enough cactus, an apple will automatically be purchased and placed under the drone. All right. When the drone is over an apple and moves again, it will eat the apple and grow its tail by 1. If you can afford it, a new apple will be purchased and placed in a random location. So this is kind of like, if you ever remember the old school games like Caterpillar where it grows longer, right? That's what we're talking about here. Okay. Or I guess to be on topic, you know, the Tron light cycles with the beam behind them, right? We're not actually going to use this just yet, but I wanted to unlock it because that's going to be a thing unto itself. Because, like I say, you have it has some unique properties, you might say, as how we set this up. So I just wanted to unlock that for now because we can. Let's go back and look at these others. Mazes is another one to work for. And that is another one where we need a new resource, right? Got this I'm going to call it special stone for now. All will be revealed. But let's go back over here, right? I think it's time to unlock functions. If you are a programmer, you will understand this already. If you're not a programmer, let's dive into this a little bit, right? So I'm going to zoom in here. I'm actually capturing my PC screen into my Mac here. So you'll have to be a little patient as it's a little delayed, which makes clicking the mouse very interesting. Okay, so using the def keyword to define a new function. So the way this works, if you're not a programmer, right? So def given by the name of the function, and then you can give it some arguments, some things that you're going to send into it, along with some defaults. We'll get into it, okay? And then you call that function and you provide it whatever you need. It doesn't have to have arguments. Let me be clear, right? So as they mentioned here, basically everything we've used to this point is a function built in, but we now get to make our own ones, right? So like harvest, as it says there, right? So you can use it to do just about anything you want, right? And we're going to take advantage of this here. We're not going to do these examples though, right? So an important thing, as it says, you need to define this function. You need to create this function before you can call it. Okay? So just bear that in mind. Otherwise, life's going to go badly for you, right? You can also have it return values. So whatever it does, it can send something out at the other end if you need it or if you want it to. Okay? Default arguments. So if you put an equals followed by some value, that will be the default if you do not supply a parameter. Trust me, it'll make sense as we start doing this, right? And then there's some additional stuff. We're not going to worry about that right now. So let's see what we can take advantage of here in our script, right? I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. So we do have a lot of repetition here, right? So for example, we have, like there's this here, right? Ground type equals grassland. You're going to till it, and then you're going to plant an entity, a sunflower in this case. Well, we repeat this pattern over and over again, right? With pumpkins, with cactus, and so on. This is prime candidate material for a function. So I am going to stop this script here, all right? And before all of this runs, I'm going to put all of that there. We're going to define a function. So we're going to say, we're going to do something very simple to start with so you get the idea. All right, so we're going to say def plant. Actually, I want to make sure I respect everything correctly here. So let me make sure I get the capitalization right, because each language likes its own one. Hold on, we're going to find it here. Wow, is it not there? It's got to be there, right? It's got to be here. Functions. Functions. Where are you, functions? Programming. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you've got to be here. Functions. It was staring me in the face. All right, so def, and it's lowercase. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so we're going to say, we're going to use what's called camel case, where, well, okay, it's not camel case, because camel case would start with a capital P. So I'm going to say def plant, and we're just going to say, let's just replace a couple of lines of code. So let's say plant sunflower, right? And we're just going to take the code here for planting a sunflower, including the harvest. Well, yeah, no, we're going to do it. I've committed to it now. We're going to do it. Okay. And let's just check our documentation again. All right. We left off. I thought I did. There we go. But now, I should be able to take all of this code here, delete it, and call plant sunflower. If I got this right. Okay, plant sunflower has never been defined. You must assign a value to a variable before using it. Oh, you know what? My bad. I forgot. It's got to be a variable. It's not like functions in other languages, right? So, hold on. Actually, I did get it right. Which bit did I not get right there? Let's correct the naming. Yep. Is it unhappy about that? I am not a Python programmer. I think I'll try it. Okay, my bad. Lesson learned. Okay, so now we're calling that function. So we've got one line, right, instead of multiple. But we can do better than this. Because this is the same pattern repeated over and over, we actually can pass in the entity, right? So we can call this same function. So we can say plant entity, and it's going to want an entity. So we're going to say en. We're going to give it a default, and we'll say, okay, if we don't put anything, plant grass, right? However, what I can do now is replace this with en. So down here, plant sunflower, we can change the name, first of all, right, to plant entity. But now I can say entities.sunflower. Let's try that. Great, it's working. So we should be able to use this generic function for other things. So anything that matches the same pattern, right? Harvest, grassland, and so on, and the tilling and everything else. So let's now replace this one for the pumpkins, right? Plant entity, whoops, entities, and we want it to be a pumpkin. Should just work. There you go. Right? How cool is that? So now we can start streamlining our script and using the same thing here, right? So again, this one right here, right? We're going to plant a cactus. Well, we can use the same function. So we're going to say, all right, plant entity, and we're going to send in entities cactus, right? Let's look for others while we're here. What about this one here? Again, same thing, right? Carrots. Plant entities. And I got a spelling mistake there, so I'll fix that in a second. Entities carrots. Right? And now we've stripped out a whole bunch of code. We're using the same function to plant 5 different things. Let's see if it runs. The other advantage to doing something like this, because this is function here, if I want to make a change that I would normally have to go through and change each one of those like we previous, now I only have to make that change in one place in the function. So when it comes to things like, I got an error here, but when it comes to things like watering, fertilizer, and all that, we can just put it in one place, right? So I got this. Boom, there we go. Right. So that's another advantage of functions. Not only are we separating our code into more generic reusable things, there's less code, but we also have the ability to edit that. So once we update that, we only have to update it in one place, right? Okay, cool. All right. So that's that. So that's how that's the basics of using functions, right? We could We do one for the trees here as well if we wanted to. I'm going to leave that alone for now. We don't really, because I know eventually I'm going to want to change that script. But we're going to leave that alone like that. But that is how you use functions. And again, look, that whole script right there on main is generating all of this for us, right? It's fantastic. Let's go back in and look at our unlocks here. See if there's anything we can improve. Not yet on that one. Not yet on there. We could improve carrots. Don't really know if I need to at this point. Do want to improve trees still. We're still holding good on water. Fertilizer, don't need it yet. Pumpkins we can eventually improve as well. And so on and so on to cactus. Okay, we're looking good. So what else have we got over here? Right? Well, we have this import statement. Now, what this one allows us to do is use multiple code files. So we don't have to have everything in that one file. For example, that function. We could pull that function out into another file, right? And keep it there to maintain it and keep it out of the way. And we can just use it in our main script by importing that file and saying, okay, great. Now I've imported that. I now know about this function and I can call this function. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's look at this. Basically what I explained there. Right. Putting all your code in a single file quickly becomes unmanageable. Import statements allow you to use import functions and global variables from another file. How it works in one screenshot. Just one screenshot, right? Here we import module 2, right? Again, that's why, remember yesterday's stream, go check it out if you haven't. I said about giving these names because it'll become relevant later on. Now it's later on, right? So we import module 2, and gives you access to all of its globals, right? You can then access variables and functions with the imported module using the operator, using the dot operator, dot syntax we call it, all right? So in this example, right, we're calling that in module 2. You can also move the globals from the imported module into a current scope where the import statement is executed using the from syntax. So from module 2, import print x, and then we just call print x. We don't need to specify the module 2 in front of it, is what it's saying, right? So let's go ahead and let's do this, right? So let's close this. So what we're going to do is go back over here. We are going to get our plant entity. I'm going to stop this here just so you can see it. We're going to take that plant entity function. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to create a new file. And I'm going to give this the name of plant. Okay, let's just call it plant stuff. Right? And then in there, I'm just going to paste it like so. Now, instead of needing this function here, it's always good practice to keep things clean. Put it right at the top, right? So let's do both. So first of all, we're going to say import plant stuff. Okay? And then down here where we say plant entity, right? Let's go to this one here. We can now just put in front plant stuff, dot entity, and that should work for us, right? We got it right there. It's gonna double it. Didn't really need to do that, but the fact that it saw it It's a good way for us to know that it worked and it imported it successfully, right? Purge 513, very rinky tinkly indeed. How you doing? Back with the oil, and I only had to overthrow one. Well done, buddy. That sounds like an easy trip to the store right there. Went to the store, overthrew one country, got my oil. Well done. All right. So let's go ahead and put these in place, and then we will test the other way of doing this. Right? Let's see if this runs. Great. So it's importing this other file up here with this function called plant entity. Oh, not a whole country, just the bit that you needed? Oh, sorry, one government. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so notice now that this one is playing over here as well because it's being used in the main script, right? When I stop it, it's going to stop on both, okay? So remember it said, hey, you know what? You don't have to do all that. You can just do from plant stuff, right? Let's go back and check that here. Oh, I'm sorry. I got the wrong one there. Hold on. Import. So you can say from module, import, and then the thing, right? So, okay, from plant stuff, import plant stuff. Now, sorry, plant entity, my bad. Right? And now we should just be able to say, okay, well, since we brought that function into this file, I should just be able to call plant entity again, just like our original script had. Now, why might you want to do this? Well, you may have a file that's got a whole bunch of functions in it, and you're only going to use one or two of them, right? So you want to save the overhead and the performance by only bringing in the code you need. Don't bring in a whole bunch of code you don't need, because also one of those functions may have the same name as a function somewhere else. It's some other file. And then you're going to have naming conflicts, right? I ran over the president of the HOA. Hey, no one's ever going to stop you doing that, right? Okay, let's try this. Let's fix this one here. And we should be back and up and running. There you go. Beautiful, right? So now we've got that working in a separate file there. We can also just minimize that. We don't need to see it. It's flashing so that we know the code in there is being executed, right? And then when it isn't, we don't have to worry about it. See, it'll just stop like that. All right. Okay, great. So we got, we simplified our code and moved some of it out here. Let's look and see where we're at with the unlocks, right? Okay, so we have other ones here. You can get away with anything in Seattle right now. All the cops are watching the Mariners game. Well, depending on the outcome of the game as to whether you get a speeding ticket later on, right? Okay, so that's the import. Random is one that gives you a min, a max, ABS and random. If you need to generate random numbers, that's one there for you. We're just going to grab it now because we can. I don't need to use it at this stage. Lists are exactly what you see there, right? So plants equals 3 different types of plants. And then you can loop through that by saying, okay, for P in plants, do that thing, right? It's gonna loop through that list is what's going to happen. Again, don't really need it right now for what I'm doing, but I'm going to grab it anyway. And the documentation, like I say, is right there, right? Come on. And then let's get rid of that documentation. Don't need it. The other day during that 15-inning elimination game, it was basically the purge. Yeah, yes. I guess I am. I'm watering the plants. All right. Let's go back over here. Dictionaries. Yeah, in the whatever, in, on, it's getting wet. The plants are getting wet, right? Dictionaries, again, if you're a programmer, you're probably very familiar with dictionaries. If you're not, think of it as, I'm going to use the words key value pair, and you're like, what the hell is a key value pair? Well, as you can see in the example here, right? You can say, hey, north, east. That's not a good example. You can have some name that you can reference with a value, right? And you can have as many of those as you want, and it's a dictionary. So, you know, some name and whatever the value is, that's how that works. Okay, we may take advantage of that later on. We'll see. I'll grab it now so that we've got it. We might as well, right? And then there's a couple more here, right? Get the cost is basically, you may remember yesterday again in the stream, I was saying you can get the cost of something so you can evaluate, okay, what's the cost of putting a carrot down, right? And it'll tell you, oh, it's whatever a carrot is, right? And then you can check and see, well, do I have enough of those? Yes, great. Then let me plant. Otherwise, no, don't try and plant it, right? Things like that. Again, I've not found this to be too much P in plants. I've not taken this too much lowercase p in plants. I don't think I've actually even used this, but again, we will unlock these, right? And then this unlock is an auto unlock. Automatically unlocks things, right? So, yeah, you know, if I've got enough of whatever, I can tell it, hey, rather than me going in here and clicking on something to unlock it, I can script it to have it do it for me. Not really too concerned about that at the moment, right? Let's go back up our tree here, right? Let me just check something here on my iPad. All right, good deal. Okay, so let's see, 1.56, not there yet with enough wood. 64K, no. Carrots, we can improve, but again, do we need to at this stage? Not really. iOSdev.farm. It's $50. That seems actually... I don't know if I feel that price is about right or not. I don't know what... I mean, what would you use it for? Maybe if you were a company that was a bunch of iOS devs? I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be more now that you've said it. $12K. Don't really care about upgrading the dinosaurs right now. In fact, so if I go back over here, Well, if I unlock that one for the auto unlocks, that's that tree, part of the tree done, right? We can forget about it. We've unlocked all of our programmology. Except for this one here, which is simulate, which is 5k of treasure. Not worried about that yet. Set speed, 500 treasure. Not really concerned about that yet. We still need to stick to my plan, which was unlock, making as many things as quickly as possible. That's the plan. We're going with it. All right. Let's run the script. Zoom out a little bit here. All right. Make sure everything's going good. Yeah. That link, by the way, at the bottom there is my review, full review of this game if you are interested. Again, with tips and some scripts on there that I've been using. Go get this game on Steam. I think it's $7.99 US right now, if I remember rightly. It's a steal. You got to go back to my old stream about Swift Python interop and then do this game all in Swift. Oh, good Lord, no. Not on this stream. So this game reads, as I mentioned yesterday, .py files, Python files. So as long as it outputs a Python file, it'll read it. But I don't think that's going to work for you. Hey, maybe if they open the game up for modding or extensions, maybe, right? Okay, I'm going to leave this running for a minute. I'm going to go grab me a drink. You can enjoy this to your heart's content. I'll be right back. Alright. Wait, what's this? Don't tell Adam. He might be watching. I don't actually. Coco Type, I think you're the only person watching. Thank you. But I think I'm going to give up on porting his part of the app. Oh. Well, as long as he doesn't watch the restream, you're in good. You're fine. It's not going to notice it, right? Coco Type, unrelated, since you are here. I put another couple of videos up for my Subradar app today, subradar.app, by the way, folks. And I got 2 more to do, and then I'm going to go back and do the shorts. So just in case you're like, hey, are you ever going to do that? Yeah, I will. Right? Promise. I did see them, and my immediate thought was that they should be shorts. See, they're all going to be shorts. In fact, the ones I did today are short enough already, I believe. They just need to be the vertical ones. Yep, there you go. See? Yeah, no, those are going to be super easy. They're essentially as good as done, right? Yeah. All right. Let's see. There is a point in this game where you will essentially like, okay, well now I just got to let it run. Okay, and don't worry, I'm not going to sit here and do nothing for hours and make you watch it. But I just want to make you aware that, you know, once you get into some of these higher level requirements down here, you will be letting it run for a while. So just, you know, there at the moment there isn't too much more new here. Like I say, increasing the yields should always be a focus, right? So in a minute we're going to increase this one, and then we're going to increase this one. You definitely want to get all of them to 10, but I do it in the order of doing grass and trees, and then I do carrots, pumpkins, and then cactus. That is the order in which I do things. Water, again, we're holding our own right there. We've got way more water than we need right now. And fertilizer, I'm not using it. When we start making the farm smaller again, intentionally, for specific things like gold and the maize, fertilizer will come into play at that point for sure. Because the drone will be moving quicker than things are growing. And that's where the fertilizer is going to come in and help us. Right now, as you can see, right, by the time the drone gets to the end of the farm, everything is grown, and we can go back and start again. We don't need fertilizer to get it to grow quickly, is what I'm saying. Again, I love this game. There is another idle visual programmy type game, but that is an idle game that I've been told about, and I've got it loaded up on my iPad, but you can get it on iOS, Android, Steam, goodness. And I will be trying that one out as well once I've finished covering this one. Because you know me, I do love my idle games, right? Actually, it makes me want to just crack on even more with Project Hack, which, once the new Subradar updated version goes live, and I've updated Job Finder Tracker, that will be something I'll be looking at again. Project Hack. My Endless Hurdles game, the Halloween event, is ready to go. Nobody's reported any new bugs, so I need to just basically do some screenshots and ship it, is what I need to do there. When are you making an American Idol game? Oh, there's already millions of Americans sitting around doing nothing. Oh, you didn't mean that. I gotcha. All right, let's see. Come on, almost there. Oh, the tension, the excitement. Is Nada going to be streaming later on? 1.56, there we go. All right, next up is this 1.23. We're a long ways off on that. Some of us idle Americans keep applying for jobs and being told we're not good enough to be to be idle. It sucks when someone tells you, and I've had this. I'm Coco type. I'm sure you've had this. We think you're overqualified for this. It's like, yeah, but I need the job. I'm okay with it if you are. Okay, I'm going to stop that one. We're going to run just the grass to get this level up here. Let's go look. We should be able to 64k. Nope, not close enough to expand the farm yet. Oops. Yep, I've had both ends of that. Too underqualified for staff positions, too overqualified for senior positions. I'm not properly qualified for anything, apparently. Yeah, you need to be somewhere in the middle, right? Isn't it? It's just crazy to me. I mean, I understand. When a company says you're overqualified, I understand. Because what they're really saying is, we think you'll get bored with this very quickly or find something better and move on. And so it's not worth it from their perspective. I understand that. However, you know, if you're someone looking for a job and you are probably in a position where you're like, I need a job now, I feel like you're going to stick it out for a while at least, right? Because you're like, hey, I need the job. I wouldn't be applying if I didn't, right? Even I might think I'm overqualified for it, but if I need a job and I'm applying for it, it's because I'm prepared to do it. Do you know what I mean? All right. All right. We will unlock. We will upgrade our pumpkins there, because that's going to do nothing but help us with cactus and getting to our 64k here for expanding. Right. It's a worthy move, I tell you. Worthy move. So far, my bandwidth has held together here today. Wow. Okay, trees. We're a little ways off there. We might as well think about this other function here while we're looking at this. Speaking of pumpkin upgrades, I made the Halloween pumpkin bark icon for the next update. Oh, sweet. Do we get a sneak peek? Is it on the beta? So if we were to make a function for these two, they are slightly different, right? The difference here is the 1 and the 0. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't want to force you to do it. Hey, you know, you could do it in the Discord, but don't feel forced. But if you want to, I'd love to see it. All right, so how would we do this? Basically, everything's going to be the same except... Oh, you know what? This is going to be easy, actually, right? Look, let's go back. Let's get our plant stuff function here. All right, I'm just going to drag here to make this one a bit bigger. Let's take... We may do this in multiple steps. Let's take that. We're going to put this one here. We call this plant. We can actually just call it plant trees. Right? And we will call this value ooh, we're going to send in the value of 0 and 1, but I want to have a meaningful name here. So we're just going to call it lock. All right, it'll make sense in a minute. Oops, not the way to go. Right, so that's that one, and then it's basically the same thing, right? We're going to put both of these in here. We harvest at the beginning, don't need that. And we're going to change this to an else if. And instead of this, well, let me think. Okay, we're gonna put that there. No, that's not what I want. We're gonna say gotta think through the logic. Okay, so we're going to send in a 0 and a 1. Okay, so when we harvest it, it's automatically going to become grass. So actually, we want to do something like if lock equals 0, all right, sweet, I'll take a look, thank you. No, you know, that logic's not going to work. Okay, so we call this oh, every time I think about it, my brain figures out how I'm going to do this. It's wrong. We're going to call plant underscore trees, and we're going to send in this, right? So it's either going to send in a 1 or a 0. So we need another value here. We need to know the column and the location, right? Yeah. We go in and we so we don't need the harvest, right? And we're going to send in I. We're going to send in I? No, we're not. We're going to send in J. Oh, my brain hurts. I thought I had it for a second. No, because I and J are going to be the same. Oh, my brain hurts. Okay, you know what? Let's take advantage of the debugging stuff here. Let's do this. Let's put the harvest back. Okay. Oh my god. My brain just hit the wall. We send in a 1 or a 0. Hang on. But that, we do need to know what I is. But I don't want to... I don't want to complicate things here, because... sorry, I don't want to hard code anything. What I don't want to do is this. Right? If I equals 0 or I equals 1. Oh, sorry, 2. Oh, my brain. My brain. I want to try and make this fully, like, encapsulated onto itself. All right. Okay. But it's not I, it's column. If it's the first or second column, we'll refactor this. Let's start with this. Let's get this working like this. Right? If it's the first or second column, do that. If the column is 1, do it this way. This should work the same, but it's not pretty. Okay. Again, from plant stuff, import plant underscore tree. I'm going to call it tree, not trees. And then plant underscore tree. We send in I. And whatever this works out to be. Is this the game version of Farmer Wants a Wife? Only if the farmer wants a drone wife. Actually, since it replaces the farmer, it's really a question, does the drone want a wife? How you doing, Mono? Okay. Let's take that and put this here, and then theoretically this should work the same. Hey, as long as we all believe it, right? Have I got enough to do this first? Not quite. Let's let this run for a second. Okay, that should do it, right? Yeah. Great. Fingers crossed. I don't know how this is going to go, is the truth. And it's not going good. It's not going good at all. We send in I, and we get the position. If I is 0 or 2, oh, okay, wait, that's not right. Don't really need that to be there. That's my mistake. That should have been if lock equals 0. I think that was my mistake. There we go. Sweet. It works. Alright, so we've got the same thing. The code is not as clean in the function as I want it to be, or as I think it could be, but we have certainly cleaned up our main script here. Look, right? And you may be thinking, and you would be correct, well, wait a minute. If this is sending in the same darn thing, why can't we just say if I equals 0 or I equals 1 or I equals 2, and you would be correct. We can now get rid of this one, and it should work the same. There you go. All right, beauty of functions. Functions with arguments. Spent a good bit sorting out why my monitors on Linux weren't detected. Oh, Mono, you didn't get Battlefield 6. Come on, dude, they're all the frickin' same every year. At least it's not Call of Duty. Don't tell me you've been playing Battlefield 6. I was playing Spell earlier. And unlocked something else. I've unlocked most things at this point, I think. Battlefield 6 requires secure boot enabled because the world of anti-cheat is, yeah. So I had to register my NVIDIA Mark to UEFI so Linux could actually use NVIDIA drivers. Yeah. I still think you wasted your time. Why did you do it, Mono? Why did you do it? Why? Why did you do it? Well, come on, Mono. You know, AAA Studios, Battlefield and COD and all that, they're just cash grabs every year. Good Lord. And you just paid them the money. All right. See, this is what I'm talking about. Look, we're into the millions now on those, right? That's 256. Don't give in to peer pressure, right? Yeah, if I can't script it in Python, forget it. I'm all in. Yeah. I've gone back to my roots. I'm a farmer again. Yeah, Mono, but the ones you mentioned were indie ones, and I'm cool with that. If you told me to go buy Battlefield 6, I can tell you now it ain't happening. Simple as that. That would be like saying go buy Borderlands 4. That ain't happening either. If Hurdle X, here we go. Yeah. You want me to put a scripting engine in there so you can write scripts in endless hurdles to do the automatic jumping? Yeah, Spell Brigade. But that's not a AAA. And it sure doesn't cost a AAA. It was like whatever it was, right? Besides, Mono said, hey, I'll play Spell Brigade with you. How did that work out? One time. And even then, he hasn't unlocked all the wizards, he told me. I'm way ahead of him. Hey, does anyone know? Is Nada going to stream? Oh, no. He streamed last night, right? Did I get that right? I can't remember. Can't remember at this point. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. Yes. Wow, I forgot all about that. Man, that puts pressure on us. I could shame Mono by opening up Spell Brigade and showing him what I've unlocked. And for those who are curious, this runs on Windows and Linux. I'm running it on Linux here right now, just in case anyone was curious, which you probably wasn't. What if I told you the new hotness is Mega Bonk on Steam? No, I haven't played it. Yeah, I saw the thing for it. Yeah. Actually, I'm playing I started... I guess I'm not playing it. I haven't started it yet. I downloaded it on my iPad, but it's available on iPad, Android, and Steam. A new idle game that's like a visual coding thing. I don't know how to describe it. Trying to remember the name of it. Hang on, I'll tell you. Upload Labs. It's free. It looks good. I love the fact that I can play it on the iPad. It doesn't have, as far as I understand it, you can't cross-play as such. You have to do this, and I don't like this. See, I've gone to great lengths with Project Hacked to make it so you don't have to do this. But on this game and on the other, you have to export your save via a code and import it into the other one. As soon as you start doing that, there's no point in having multiple platforms, because whatever device you're on, won't be the one that has the thing for sure, right? So that's why on Project Hack, I was like, nope, none of this shenanigans. You can log in from anywhere and get your save data. I should not, as a player, have to export and import to go from one platform to another. And then what I mean by that is if I then switch back, like take this for example, right? So in this game here, right, I can just, because it's on Steam, I can just open it on any platform that supports Steam and start playing the game, and it pulls down the data. That's how it should be for players. I'll take my game developer hat off for now. All right. I think we're holding our own on water. Yeah. Electricity. Yeah. These are going to take a while. We'll probably be expanding the farm before we do anything for increasing the yields on those. Yeah. We're starting to run a bit low on bananas. On carrots. Get the banana extension. The banana DLC, right? That's what it needs. We got enough. We might as well unlock the fertilizer, but we're not going to use that yet. That just boosts the speed at which things grow. We don't have to worry about that. At this stage, anyway. So you can see over 2 sessions here, essentially 2, maybe 3 hours, we have unlocked most of the tree, and now we're into the ones that are going to take a while. But we've basically unlocked everything we need to play around with lots of different stuff. First you were selling D-boosts, and now you're selling banana extensions. A very R-rated streamer. Gotta make your money where you can. 3 easy payments. All right. And again, if you're gonna let this game run in the background, just remember, you can zoom out and the sound will go away. All right, and you can just leave it running. But if you really want to go crazy, zoom all the way in. Why not? That's what it's there for, right? See the piggy. See the piggy. Be the piggy. Pigs will finally fly. I'll stop now. Maybe. Maybe I'll stop. Maybe I won't. All right. Let me check. Did I unlock? I'm pretty sure I did, right? Oh no, I need to unlock that one. I do need the treasure. Yeah. And for treasure, you need mazes. And for mazes, you need the special weird stuff. What is that special weird stuff? Let's take a look. Let's just shrink that all up there. Special weird stuff is weird substance. So how do you get weird substance? Well, you do stuff. You use it on a bush to grow a maze, or on another plant to toggle their infected status. Obtained from infected plants, fertilizing plants infects them. So that is another use for the fertilizer. When a plant is infected, half of its yield is turned into weird substance when it's harvested. All right, let's do it. Have I got? Let's do it. Right? Should we do it? Have I got what I need? Where's my weird substance? I can't remember. Oh, maybe I've already unlocked it. I can't remember. All right. Okay, so wait. Let's just stop that for a second. So let's go look at the fertilizer. So, we have 27 fertilizer, 28, right? Let's boost that up a bit. Actually, let's just boost it all the way and it's done, right? There you go. So you are going to now see the beauty of these functions that we were talking about, right? I'm going to change one of these. So anywhere, instead of, well, let's make a new script. Okay, let's just do this. We're going to have one dedicated script for this, just so you can see. So this just grass, right? We can change. We're going to make another one. Let's close that. We'll make a new script. We do need bushes for this. Remember in yesterday's stream I said, oh, we're going to want bushes again at some point. Here it is, right? I don't care about my green hat for this. We're going to harvest. We're going to plant a bush, right? We're going to use... We're not going to bother using water on this. We're going to use fertilizer. Fertilizer. Now watch what happens. Look, weird shit. Weird shit. What's all this weird shit? Well, that's what that is, right? The purpley stuff. Don't ask. We're going to let this run for a bit. I'm going to start gathering some. There you go. Look, see? We gather it pretty quickly here. Weird shit, right? We need 1K for mazes. Well, we're already there. I'm going to leave this open. We'll come back to this in a second. This is an interesting one. All right. Now that I've unlocked it, I need 12K of cactuses. We're going to do that. All right. So that's that. We're going to get rid of this for now. We will be doing that again in the future. But let's talk about mazes. Mazes are an interesting thing with... You can take on the programming challenge to do this. You'll see what I mean in a second. Or you can do this the easy way if you just want to get the unlocks. So items.weirdSubstance, if I use it and the amount, the bush will grow into a maze of hedges. All right. The size of the maze depends on the amount of items weird substance used. So in other words, if you use one block. Use two by two, right? Weird substance that you put on your... Yeah, okay. Put it on my head. Look, that's what I need here, right? So we don't need all of the complicated... Well, it's not complicated. We don't need to do all the calculations here, right? There's a lot of functions for basically navigating around the maze. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so we're going to make a new script. I am just going to do my best to make this window bigger. Okay. As always, first of all, we're going to put the clear in here. All right. And then we're going to say plant the bush and use items, weird substance. All right, and then I'm going to zoom out a bit so you can see the whole maze. That's all I'm going to put in. Actually, I got to put the value. So let's put in 10. Well, let's put 1. Watch what happens. Right? Down in this corner here is a bush, right? But it's, you know what? Hang on, I've messed this up. Let me make sure that I've messed this up. There you go. So here it is, right? We've got a maze that's here. It's 5 by 5. You got to get, your drone can't fly over the walls. So you got to navigate your drone round to the treasure. But there's a problem. Every time you collect the treasure, well, eventually, I say that, at least in the beta version, the pre-release, the treasure would eventually relocate itself. So it's not like you can just go, oh, look, I got to go forward, right, and so on, and run that path every time. And it's not going to work for you, right? So, for example, let's try this, right? So we would go move. Let's do this the long way. What the hell, right? So we're going to move north. And then we need to move east, right? And then actually, let's just copy this. I'm going to go east, east, and east. See if I can get this all in one. North, 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 east, right? And I'm showing you this because clearly this is not a good plan. Well, and in fact, when I run this, it's going to make another maze. So this is probably already invalid. Let's get rid of the clear. Sweet, it got us there, right? Because if I'd have cleared it, we'd have had a new maze. So move south. South, south, east. Whoops. And then north. North, north. However, there we go, right? And then, now that we're there, harvest to pick up the treasure, right? Oh shit, the maze disappeared. Now I gotta start again. All those instructions are invalid. That is why you don't want to do it this way. You're like, but Peter, I'm gonna see if I can remember. I worked out a script for this. It's not cheating, it's just taking advantage of the way this works, right? In fact, they even sort of reference this in the documentation. If I make a one square maze, the odds are eventually the treasure will be on that square, right? So while true, and we're going to have to do more than this, but let's run this. Right? It's not really working for us, is it? Right? I mean, we are getting treasure, right? But there are instances there where it's not treasure. Ultimately, it doesn't matter, but you could let it run like this. But this is kind of... when I came across this and I'm like, this is never going to work. And I was like, wait, have I found a hack, a bug? No, it is doing what it's supposed to. So we're not cheating. We've just made this is supremely easy. Let's go over here, check and see how much we needed for the things. Right? I need to unlock this is what I'm going for, right? But notice that it's like, well, we're not getting the treasure. So what you want to do? If I remember rightly, I did this. If get entity type, so get what's underneath the drone, and if it's equal to entities dot treasure, oops, I forgot. Do this, right? Do all of this. Well, we want to harvest. Let's get rid of that. There. Right? If it's not treasure, we're going to start again. Right? And this should also reduce the amount of wastage that we have. So let's try this. No, that's not how I did it. Okay, what was I gotta think this through. I figured out this script. Oh. Was it this? Oh, let me think. I could cheat and look at the... Well, it's not, I guess it's not cheating if I look at the script that I wrote when I was figuring this out, right? Hang on. Because this is going to save you a ton of time, right? Load. Unlocked. Here we go. This is my... This is the version from the pre-release. With a huge farm. And lots of things and a script, right? So just to give you a sneak peek, right? This is where I did my learning. Look, I'd nearly completed everything, except some of them had changed. I'd unlocked everything and then it changed in the final version. But what I'm looking for, I have these scripts over here. Look away if you don't want to make life easy for you. I gotta find, wait. Did I clean them all up? This might just be documentation, actually. Yeah, let's go back over to my, you know, while I'm here, just for the fun of it, I'll run this so you can see it, right? This is my final solution. Going to take a minute. Hopefully we might get to see the biggest of the biggest pumpkins, but I doubt it. You got to be pretty darn lucky for that. But we got bones, we got gold, we got bones, you name it. Nope, we don't think we're going to get the biggest pumpkin. So this is my mega farm. Well, it's not a mega farm. This is the biggest farm you can make without using mega farm. If that makes sense, which it probably doesn't. And then we got the sunflowers there, right? And that wraps it up. So there you go. That's what that looks like. Let me find my mouse. Okay, let's stop that. I got a couple of extra scripts here. I have bones and I got gold. Gold. Here it is. Let's see if this still works. This is my one that it goes along, right? Let's make sure this still works. I think it is. Yeah. And we get gold on every space. Shh, don't tell anybody. It'll be our secret, right? So we're going to take that script. I'm assuming I can copy and paste this across. Let's go back to one for the stream. All right. Oh, you dang it. It's not going to let me copy and paste across. I should have taken it out to a separate clipboard, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? I could go get the file, but I don't want to mess with that. All right, let's try this. Let's see. Let's just go with text editor. All right, that worked. Let me paste back in. Sweet. Oh, because I haven't dang it. See, okay, so this is what I'm saying about it. If you try to use something you haven't unlocked yet, you're in a world of hurt. All right. And I need 500 gold. Damn it. Okay, well, can I run it manually without? I can't remember. That'll do. It's going to take longer this way, but we'll get there. Shh, don't tell anybody. There's your secret hack right there. Go get that script. All right, let's... We're going to get that. So this allows us, as I say, to set the execution speed if we want to slow things down, and the world size. So now, if I set the world size to 1, oh, it doesn't work anymore. Okay, yeah, it worked in the pre-release, doesn't matter. End result is we still get our treasure. I wonder... why that doesn't work there anymore. This probably won't work either. It'll work maybe the first time. Seems like that should... Alright, well that's interesting. I'll have to look at that. I guess it changed in the final version. Not a big deal. We probably actually could do this. What about if I set that to 1 and 1? Oh no, of course, yeah, it's going to go diagonally. It's pretty. I should have known that was going to happen. Alright, well we will get rid of that. Seems redundant. The only thing with this is we don't have any sunflowers. So we're going to do this. Let's make the first one here. Should we make the first one sunflowers or the first two? Because we want sunflowers to double the movement speed. Otherwise, right? I mean, we're getting half as good as we could right here. We're not fully optimized. So if I equals 0 or I equals 1, you want to till it. So that's if get ground type equals grounds dot grassland, till it, otherwise don't bother. Then plant sunflowers, yeah, plant entities dot sunflower else do all this good stuff. I may have an error here. Yeah. Oh, whoops. My bad. I put 1 twice. Okay. That should get us sunflowers, and then the rest will be gold, gold. Bring in the money. Show me the money. Oh, idiot. I forgot the harvest. Okay. Wait, let's get rid of the clear. Might as well start where we left off. Do all that. Idiot. Okay. Didn't want to have to do the clear, but we'll have to start again. Man, this is terrible. Only one person watching this. I feel bad. Hey, if I can change one life. I'm going to change the name of this script here. There we go. Now we're cooking. Sounds like a typewriter. I'm going to call it Get Gold. Get me the gold. Actually, I don't define those. Weirdly enough, they're set in the game. Probably could override them, but you know. Just focus on the gold. While true, someone is walking on thin ice. Alright, while that's running, what do we need? A whole lot of everything. Need a lot of cactus. Alright, we've got the 2K for that. Hey, wait, I realized I am literally gold farming. First game to ever actually be gold farming, right? As opposed to just what we call it. That's what we call it. All right, I'm going to leave this running for a minute. I'm going to go grab me a drink. I will be right back. Okay, so we got a bunch of gold. Where's my cursor? There it is. Alright, we're going to stop that one. Actually, let's dock that so that we can just keep moving them all in one go. Right. Let's run our main script here for a bit. Getting close to what we need for the pumpkins. Okay, so let's see what we got here. This is this main script like this is the one that if I was you, I would leave running overnight on your machine to have a whole bunch of nice resources to use next time you come to it. Okay, we got nearly 64k. There we go. Boom. Okay. We have now made the farm even bigger. So let's stop and start and figure out what we're going to need extra of here. Go big pumpkin. Alright, we're running low on something. And then that's our four extra columns. Okay, they're cactus. Alright, got it. So we're probably going to want... think for those last 4, let's take a look at our script here. All right, let's add an extra row of carrots. We're just going to add on the end here. Let's try and get some more cactus if we can, right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I see what I did. Single equals should have been double. Come on, double. All right, cool. And I think what we'll do on the last one, we do run a bit dangerously low on the power. All right. So let's add another one of those in there. And if this is working good, then I think we'll probably leave it here for now, because you don't want to sit and watch this for hours generating resources. Neither do I. We're just going to let it run in the background, because we need to get into the millions now. See, needs at least another 6.7 million wood for the grass. Not even in the ballpark for expanding the territory. We could yield more carrots. I don't know if that matters right now. Want to yield more wood from the trees. Water's doing okay. Yeah, need carrots for the pumpkins, but we're doing okay on generation for the pumpkins. Not worried about the maize right now. Cactus, we do need to boost. Don't need to worry about dinosaur bones for right now. And for that last one, I mean, we need 100 million dinosaur bones. Whoo-wee. I'm not even going to tell you what that is. I mean, you'll have to play the game and get there to find out. Or wait for me to get there on this playthrough. Alright, you know what? Yeah, let's yield more carrots so that that'll boost up so that we can yield more pumpkins. Yeah. All right, so we just passed the 2-hour mark. So, for the most part, this is it, right? We have not unlocked everything, but we are well on our path here for gathering all the resources we need to get us to the last two parts, where at that point you want to focus on the bones and you want to focus on the treasure. We already have a treasure script that I've shown you there. It's going to be a similar thing for the bones. We will cover that maybe in the next one. We will go through, talk about the bones and get those last unlocks, but it's going to take a while on those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this running overnight, most likely, and come back to it next time, where we should have more than enough resources to then go through and play with hopefully the last unlocks, or get us very close to it either way. There is again, link on the screen right there. It's right, hang on, let's see if I can do this. It's right there. No, there. If you go to that link, that's my review for the game, where I go into more detail on this, along with some tips and stuff like that. That's it, folks. Follow. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see the next one on this. And then once we've completed the unlocks on this, like I say, there's another idle game that sounds interesting. Not to imply this is an idle game, but it has idle aspects. But there is another idle game that I find very interesting that I might look into. I think, again, it'll appeal somewhat primarily to programmers. It's a visual coding kind of idle game, but it's pretty interactive and a lot of fun, is what they tell me. I'm going to play it on my iPad off stream, first of all, to see if it's worth it, but I think it's going to be. With that, folks, have an awesome one, and we will catch up next time. Take it easy.